Hello, and welcome to another Unreal Engine tutorial by Nebula Skull Studio. I've had a couple of requests for how to use the spawn component inside the Procedural Dungeon Generator, so we're going to look into that now. We're going to want to start by importing a couple of assets to spawn in the dungeon, so I'll just pull them up now. So keeping with the aesthetic of the back rooms, I'm going to pull from the assets that are created for a different project. So I've got a column that we use for the corners. We'll just bring a separate one of those in. I've also got a smiler that I've been working on, and the fluorescent lights. We can set up some lights as well. We'll just drag those into the meshes, and we want to import all. Yeah, this is just some issues with the smiler. I haven't finished modelling it properly. This is just a test for now. So what we want to do is take these materials and we will throw those into the materials folder that we made in the last tutorial. Yeah, okay, close. We don't want the wallpaper anyway. We'll create a duplicate of the one that we have. We've got the wall trim we don't need. We've got a plaster for that. The eyes and jaws of the smiler, different colours, and for the fluorescent lights. So here we are. For the fluorescent light we want to go for a nice light yellowish kind of colour, and what we'll do is take a copy of that and we'll multiply that by a scalar parameter, and we'll just call this emissive value, and we'll slap that into the emissive colour, and if we set this to 1 we've got a nice glowy light, and that'll mean that we can change this value for turning lights on and off. Okay, what else do we have? Better go back to these meshes, and we want to open the column. We want to give this the plaster at the top and bottoms like we created, and we've got the column wallpaper that is nicely stretched for the columns. We'll hit save on that. So now we have the basic meshes that we want ready for spawning. So what we're going to do is turn these into blueprints. We want to open up the Procedural Dungeon Generator, and we'll go into blueprints, and we'll go into items for item spawning. And we're going to want to make a new blueprint class and actor. We're going to call this B underscore column. And we're going to create another one, and this will be B underscore light. So we'll set the column up first because that's really quick and easy. Just want to add a static mesh. And the mesh that we're going to use is the column that we've just pulled in. There we go, nice and easy. And we'll save that. And for the light, we're going to want a static mesh. There we go. And this will be the fluorescent light. and that's the wrong way up, so we'll just give it a rotate 180 degrees, and then we're going to want a point light as well. Point light, we will just move down a little bit so it's not too oppressive. And just to see what this looks like in the level, put this in, and the height should be 400 for these walls. There we go. And that'll give us a light. Now we're going to want make this light a little bit more yellowish, just to make it feel a bit more realistic. So for now we have a light and we have a column, and they're ready to spawn in the level. Now what we want to do is go over to the blueprints for the dungeon generator and open that up, and on the left here you see we've got the B_dungeon spawn component _ items, and in here this is set up to spawn the items, the crate and the barrel, the sample items. What we're going to do is delete that, and we'll just add another one. So we search B_dungeon spawn component, and we can put that in. And on here we'll put _lights. So this particular spawn component is for spawning lights in the dungeon. And we're going to say we want, I don't know, maybe 10 lights. And in the spawn list we're going to add an element to that. And we're going to search for the B_light that we've just created. And the percentage chance of this spawning we want at 1. So it's a 100% chance it will spawn lights 10 times, and we want that for rooms only. In fact, no, we'll turn that off so we can get lights in the corridors too. And for the offset for the lights, we know that the height of the walls is 400, so we want those 400 units on the Z-axis. And we're going to compile and save that. And then we can add another spawn component, and we'll call this decoration. We'll compile, and inside decoration we want maybe 5, and for the spawn list we can set this to B_columns, again with a 100% chance of spawning, and we don't want to do anything with the offset this time. The columns will be fine in the middle of the tiles, so we'll just hit compile and save this out and close, and we'll take the dungeon generator and make the generation a little bit smaller, maybe 5 rooms. There we go. We'll hit new seed. There we go. Maybe one more time, something a little bit different. There we are. And then we will hit to simulate. And as you can see, the lights disperse themselves randomly throughout the rooms. And we're getting the columns spawning in the middle as well. And this is where the assets don't properly match up. This is what you get when you rush making assets. But all in all, it looks pretty good. If we wanted to make this look a little better again, we could open the dungeon generator back up and go back into here, because we turned the shadows off for each of these. shadow. Further down the list for them. And we'll do that for all of these assets. And we'll compile. And now when the lights spawn in, we should get a little bit more depth to the lighting. There we are. We're starting to get the backrooms feel now. And it's all nicely procedurally generated for that extra layer of you're lost in the backrooms. And there we have it. I noticed that the light has cast in a shadow there, but that's easily fixed as well. We'll open up the light blueprint. Oh, we're still simulating. And we'll take the static mesh, and for this one we'll turn the shadows off. Cast shadow, false. Compile, save. And we'll close this again, and we'll just simulate one more time. And there we go, the lights no longer cast a shadow on the ground. And that makes it much nicer looking. But that's the basics of how to use the spawn component. This can be used to handle item spawning, lights. You could use it for spawning enemies. I mean, we can do a quick example again. If we take the blueprint class as an actor, and we'll say B_Smiler. And we didn't actually set up the skin for that, did we? So just in the materials, Smiler's nice and easy. We'll just set the value to white there, and the same in the immersive. There we go. And then we'll do the same for the jaws. To the immersive. And you would of course set up some real logic for the AI, but just for the purpose of this, we'll make something simple. So get the static mesh. Smiler. There he is in all his creepy glory. We'll compile and save that. And we'll just make it spawn one of those in the dungeon generator. So we jump back to blueprints and open this again. And we could add another spawn component. And we call this one enemies. In enemies we'd want maybe one. We'd be wanting the Smiler. And we say 100%, we could set this to 0.5, so only 50% of the time the Smiler would spawn, but just for testing purposes, we'll leave that at 100%. And we'll compile and save. We'll close this out, and then we'll simulate again. And we'll find that somewhere in here we've got a Smiler hiding. There he is. He does need some work, he's a little bit small at the moment, but he spawns, and it's a blueprint that spawns, so you can attach all your logic for AI and the behaviours all from there. As always, if there's anything you guys are struggling with, feel free to leave a comment below or message me directly at nebulaskullstudio.com. This has been another Unreal Engine tutorial by Nebula Skull Studio. Thanks for watching.